My name is Marcin Borowski. I'm Customer Success Manager at LiveChat.
My name is Grzegorz Woźniczko, and I'm Support Level 1 Team Leader of LiveChat.
So both work at LiveChat INC. We try to bring you a couple of things that you can use to improve your business with our product, and so it all goes nice together. Now, let's go to today's agenda, I think, right?
All right.
Alright, so a couple of things we'll be covering on today. It will be deciding on the chat availability, considering agents' location, 10 tasks for the chat agents and what they should be, how you should share the knowledge, how to see if your team is doing good, and how we do things at live chat. At the end of the whole webinar, there'll be Q&A session. Any questions come up, make sure to write them. I'll try to answer them as they come, if they are something about the problems with technical aspects. But I think we can just get started on the first one, so chat availability.
Yes. Hi, my name is Grzesiek. I'm a team leader at LiveChat INC, team leader of chat support. So first things first, if you're about to lead a team, first you need to determine when are you going to lead all of your team. You, as a team leader, have to know, or at least determine, the chat hours for your team based on your business type. One may ask if it shouldn't be determined by the number of chats, so how big is your business? No. The thing is, it's strictly depending on the type of the business you're running. For example, if you are a leader of education chat of some university or something like that, to let students or their parents ask you questions about the education stuff, you can't possibly expect support questions at midnight, right? So the chat hours for you would be probably from 8 a.m. until like 6 p.m. And for example, if you are a team leader of worldwide retail, you have to expect customer questions all day long.
I guess so, yeah.
All right. If you know that, then you can base your shift schedule on that. When it comes to seamless transition, we mean that you should be prepared to let your agents switch shifts very smoothly. When it comes to, for example, 24/7 support, you have to expect that, if your agents are finishing their shift on, for example, 6 p.m., you can't expect customers to end their chats along with agents' shifts. You have to expect that the customer wants your company's time and your agent's time. And if an agent is up to end his shift at 6 p.m., well, he just can't leave his customers right on the chat. So you have to figure out a way to make this transition from one shift to another really smoothly. The best idea with live chat is to switch to not accepting chat status a bit earlier. That way, an agent can finish his chats in a usual manner,
Yeah.
and new chats won't be assigned to this agent.
Of course, you need to take this into the consideration that if an agent will be finishing regular work shift at 6 p.m., but they will be switching off the chat half to 6, then the next agent must come a little bit earlier. So if you need to cover 24/7 support, you might need more than 3 people. So 8 hours to cover the whole day. So this is also something you need to remember about, right?
Yeah, it's best to actually not cover shifts like exactly one agent starting a shift right after the previous one ends his shift. It's best to
So they overlay one another, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's best to make like overlaying shifts so that the transition is seamless, runs smoothly.
And then when a new agent comes in, so even before they start chatting, they can already see what cases are ongoing, see if some of them will be lasting a little bit longer, so they can read through the case. And when the first agent, right, will be giving the case away, the second will be able to just take it and keep on going because, well, you need to know the details about the case, right?
Right. At live chat, we have this feature. It's called Work Scheduler. It's available in Enterprise Plan. It helps automatically setting your agent to not accepting chat status on a predetermined hour. As you can see here, you can set the schedule to an agent and divide it by days. So you can determine whether the agent should end his shift at, like for example, here at 4 p.m. on Mondays and at 5 p.m. on Thursdays. When it comes to live chat, we have, as mentioned before, this scheme to assign agents to shifts that are overlaying. We have our shifts. We have our morning shifts on 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and later these shifts are changed by people who come on 3 p.m., 4 p.m., etc., etc. So that there's always an available agent on the chat. Always agents have to stay maximum for like 5-10 minutes after shift to just finish these chats that are still ongoing when their shifts are ending. And well, sometimes it happens that the chat really needs full focus, a proper ending, a proper case solving. We want to solve our cases on chats, so that you need to figure out a good transition for the other agents. For example, in live chat, you can easily transfer a chat to an agent that is actually starting his shift after your shift ends. Well, don't forget to mention that to your customer.
Yeah, it's a good practice. Yeah.
It's best to just let your customer know that you're ending a shift right now. You are about to leave the office. But for example, you have briefed in the next agent. The customer is assured that the next agent that will take over the chat knows the case, knows how to run it along, and how to solve it.
And of course, this works both ways. So in addition to just letting the customer know, hey, I'm about to transfer you, you need to let the other agent know who is going to get the transfer, hey, I'm about to transfer to you. How about taking a look at this? This is the case related to this and that. Take a look at it. So when the customers just get switched, everything's clear, smooth, no stops.
Yes, as a team leader, you have to implement this policy that the customer is the most important thing while chatting, so that the leading agent has to be sure about the taking over agent, that he knows the case, that he knows how to solve it.
All right, so basically there was this stuff about chat availability. At live chat, as we mentioned, we are 24/7. Now, one thing I think I wanted to add to this point, how long, even though you may think that your business, like let's say these education businesses, run from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and this is basically the business standard and the customers are not used to writing to you in the middle of the night and so on and so on, you might actually experiment because this is something that can give you an extra edge over the competitors because perhaps the customers are actually looking for it, but no company from this business is ever deploying during the night, right?
Yeah, you can, for example, wonder, hey, this night I got like 20 tickets. What's up? I mean, are the customers acquainted to these hours of working? Like, what is up with that? You don't actually have to just stick with answering the questions on tickets. Maybe it's time to think about introducing afternoon shift.
Yeah. From our experience, always best to contact the customers hot on the chat because there's human interaction. Tickets are like emails, but are a little bit more cold, and the customers are not so prone to contact afterwards. All right, so it was the chat availability. Now, the second thing we wanted to cover today, agents' locations. Now, what do we mean by that exactly? First thing, you need to consider whether your team is working remotely or from your office. Now, there are of course advantages to this and that, and I think we could just organize a separate webinar that would just cover all the aspects of working from the office, working remotely. Most of your companies, as far as I can assume, already have this figured out, so you know what is your company policy. Now, please also take into consideration that if your team, your whole team, let's say IT support, also salespeople, are working from the office, this doesn't necessarily mean that the people who will start the chat can't work remotely, especially if you're hiring them from someone else, from a different company, right? Because the different job positions, they have different needs. Depending on how heavily you use the chat, it might turn out that a remote agent would do just fine, especially if you need to cover the night shift and you don't want to just keep people not sleeping or whatnot. So just perhaps find someone from the other part of the globe and see how this works. So yeah.
Yeah, nowadays it's not a big deal to actually introduce night shifts. I mean, a lot of companies do it. But if you can, think about maybe hiring an external team of other time zone agents.
Yeah. This is actually some things of the our customers are doing. If you are looking to hire extra agents in order to your basic team, make sure to check the experts page at our website. We can just really recommend these guys. They know what they are doing and they've been working with the chat for really, really long.
Yeah. Also, when it comes to the agent's location, it's good to figure out hiring other time zone agents based on your team's feedback. I mean, you have to ask your team whether it's fine with them to work on night shifts.
Yeah.
We are used to low traffic during night shifts, but if your business is 24/7, then you have to make sure that your support is also 24/7. Having a well-timed schedule, for example, at our company, it's 5 weeks on daily shifts and 2 weeks on night shifts, is essential if you want to keep your team healthy and if you want to provide the best customer service out there.
Yeah, and why we mention it, because governing and managing a team of remote people and office-based people, this is done in a completely different way. Many different aspects to it. So you can't never treat those people in the same way because the things will just differ greatly. Now, for instance, I call this like office delay. So let's say you have an agent who's working 8-hour shift from the office, because that's the scenario number one. Then this person has to wake up in the morning, commute or get to the job, right? So this all takes some time. Basically, your most cases not paying them for that, but this is an effort they need to make. When they arrive at the office, they need to open the door. Now, mind me, this may sound simple, but they need to open the door, sit by the desk, perhaps make themselves a coffee, and get themselves in this, I think, work type of being. Okay, so switch their mindset to working, and now warming themselves up, it may take longer than it would take in case of remote-based people. Because those people, if you say you agree with them on 8-hour shift, they may actually be able to cover the whole 8-hour shift. If you have a person who's working 8-hour shift from the office, you can't really expect them to cover exactly the 8 hours. So as soon as they arrive, minute number one, and keep on through all the 8 hours. So those are basically advantages, I think, for remote working in this case.
Yeah, regarding this subject, as a team leader, you actually have to care about what your team is doing beside working. I mean, if they have a good communication to work, if they can avoid traffic jams, you have to also know if it's office-based job, you have to know when are the rush hours in your city.
Yeah,
just to plan shifts so that your agents can well, seamlessly get to the office, set up, and start chatting.
Yeah, true. I mean, we live in Wrocław, which is quite a huge city. I mean, like, this is for our standards, and the roads can be crowded during some hours. So you just have to know that sometimes there will be delays, some traffic accidents and whatnot. This always will impact your business, right? So about this agent location, you need to think about this and think whether this changes something for your people or not, right? Basically, at live chat, we work from the office, all of us, because we embrace this culture of being here as a whole team together, because we can basically easily brainstorm and share information, and more things about this will come in later part of the webinar. But up to you guys, right? Remote office, that's your choice, and there is no better choice. You just need to determine which is better for your specific case, right? All right.
When it comes to assigning tasks for agents and monitoring their job on a daily basis, the first thing, multitasking. Live chat is designed for multitasking. I mean, we provide many tools that allow your agents to save time. And as a team leader, you have to make sure that your agents know these tools and they know how to use them efficiently. Using multitasking tools efficiently makes the job easier, makes customers happier because the response time is better. And as a team leader, you have to make sure that your agents are up to date with these tools. For example, you can implement the canned response tool. It allows you to fasten your response time. And as a team leader, you have to make sure that your agents at least read the list of canned responses once. It's essential when it comes to handling multiple cases at once. I'm not saying that your agents will. You have to determine how many concurrent chats your agents will
take, right?
Yes, are about to take, and you have to actually compare it with the traffic on your website. You don't want to have queues in a chat because, customer that has to wait for the help becomes more and more unhappy with every next minute he's in the queue. So you have to actually determine how many chats agents can take up. Also, in enterprise plan, we have this tool called staffing prediction. You have to compare. You can compare number of agents with the 24-hour distribution of chats on your website, and you can easily determine with this algorithm how many agents you will need in the next week. All right, let's go to the next step. Emergency ward. Chatting is actually a bit like an emergency ward. The traffic is very similar, actually. If you are having a great traffic on your website 24/7, you have to actually consider having a huge support team because, it's not an easy job, actually.
Yeah, true. You might get yourself thinking that if I got agents working for me doing this 8-hour shift, they will just be able to, take all the chats and chats and chats. And tell you what, even if you have like lower traffic moments, how about giving them some like extra tasks so they are not getting burned? After all, they're in the job, you're paying them, 8 hours and whatnot. But what you need to think about is that when the chats come flooding in, because can be so-called rush hours, right?
Yeah.
And there's more and more and more of them coming, agents do need this moment to cool down afterwards. So what you need to take into consideration is this: whether your agents will be only doing the chats and then will have a spare moment for whatever they feel like, and I mean like whatever really, or whether we'll be putting some more tasks onto them. Because if you want agents to do this, and that, and chat in addition to this, do consider that some of these tasks will be done less effectively because the chat can really dragging. So I know that this may sound terrific to have a person only asking, replying to the chat, but this can really somebody pay off because this person will be all fresh and ready, like a doctor on the emergency ward.
Yeah.
And when a customer comes hurting, they are able to help them straight away with fresh energy and just being ready for them, right?
Yeah, as a team leader, you want to have your team provide the top-notch customer service out there, and for that, the team has to actually be sane. For example, you have to keep in mind that some cases might be really time-consuming, and I mean really time-consuming. I can recall a situation when one person came to our chat and he was asking me questions for 8 hours straight. I mean, seriously, 8 hours straight
Yes.
without any break. It was really time consuming. There weren't very hard questions, but I had to keep my focus on this one person beside all other chats that I had. So you have to make sure that your team stays sane. It's good to give them extra activities, like for example, updating some customer databases or something like that. But these things have to be like mechanical work for relaxing the mind from very focused conversation is a great thing to have.
You just don't aim to fulfill full 8 hours. So like, no chats, zero chats ongoing. Now we're gonna do all the things in these 5 minutes and then just get onto the chat. So be human for the agents, I guess. This is something we're trying to say here.
Yeah, it's also about creating a nice environment for the agents to work. For example, at LiveChat, our support room is actually the noisiest one.
Yeah, I guess
we,
so. Yeah.
we always listen to music. We always ask ourselves questions or consult things with our technical department, and it's never silent.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, on one hand, you could just think that we are actually going insane, but what he thinks it just makes it more like, I think, homeish feeling in there. So we could just all sit there, relax, and no tension from like, all right, guys, now we're doing the job, so we're gonna only do the job stuff, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we also have a space for people that want to just chill, just want to cut off the noisy atmosphere, just to allow people that want to focus more on the job or focus on, these time-consuming cases, to relax, to have a comfortable environment.
Yeah. And actually, if you think that your office is not a comfortable environment for the agents, then you might actually sometimes allow them to work remotely. I mean, perhaps they will just feel better from home. This is an experiment you can make and just see, because there are different types of people. Different agents will want different spaces to work with, right?
All right. When it comes to chats per shift, it's also depending a lot on what type of business are you actually running. At LiveChat, we are acquainted to about 85 chats per 8 hours shift. It's a good number, actually. It makes you focused on the job. People are not getting lazy, but it also lets them to handle each case very carefully, very thoroughly, and with proper approach to the customer.
All right. So I think we can just jump into the next aspect you need to take into consideration. So ways of sharing the knowledge, because if you have more than a single agent, and if your company grows, which we just wish you the best of luck in, there will be more and more people, and you need to figure out how they will keep the front together for the customers, so the knowledge about doing things, going about them, is running well within the company. So we needed to come up with ways of going about this. We have it easier because we decided to keep everyone working in the office, right? Keep them in work in the office. No, we just decided to work in the office. We're not keeping anyone with force and chains and whatnot and locks. So we have it easier because we are in touch at all times. But if your team works remotely, it may be a problem. So we might need to organize Skype conversations perhaps sometimes. But meetings, agents talking between themselves about stuff that's going on, you might actually get some extra time out of the regular chatting hours. Okay, so just don't tell them. Tell you what, after the 8 hours of your shift, just stay for 2 more hours for a meeting. No, just try to give them these 2 hours during their shift, so they can actually do it, because it's basically related to job. You should treat it in this way. Meetings related to job are not really personal meetings, so different case here.
Yeah, it's also a good reason to have these overlaying shifts so that one person can end a bit earlier, the other can come in a bit earlier too. So that nobody misses anything.
Yeah, true. And from time to time, it's good to organize these bigger meetings where agents can talk about cases that went really right. So, for instance, the customers really enjoyed something or jumped on something that you were not expecting that might have happened, or the other way around, that something went terribly wrong. And if you let the other agents know that they can just profit from this, and we are a team, so we're not competing between the agents to get the best score. We as a team want the best score, and this also helps you bond with the team a little bit, because you can just see, oh, tell you what, it was a difficult case. I just had the same one last week. I really feel you. Don't worry, we got this covered. I this, and that. This helped me a lot, right?
Yeah, it's also good to have such meetings outside of the work too, but not after the shift, not after the agent is thinking about just leaving the office and just relaxing. It's good to have such meetings from time to time on weekends as a part of, for example, some well, just friendly events.
Meetings, yeah.
Yeah, just this friendly event with.
Grilling and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, like a grill. Like you can order food together, you can cook food together, and for example, have a set of free 15-minute sessions of sharing knowledge, just to let your team know that it's fine to talk about work outside work. It doesn't always have to be stressful.
Yeah, true. This is something we introduced quite recently at live chat, in addition to talking in the same room at all time. And you might just think actually that we are just going crazy, because how many hours per week can you look at the same face of your colleague in the office? But it can actually turn out to be something good. It all depends on the work culture and business culture, and I guess so. And next thing would be supervision. So two ways of doing this. If you're in the office and the next person is sitting to you, you can watch how they are going about cases. Your agents can watch how the other agents are going about them, and perhaps ask why they did this and that, and suggest that perhaps it can be done otherwise. And this works both two ways. So new agents can see how the old agents are dealing with cases, and they can just ask questions. And the old agents can see how the new ones are dealing with the cases and perhaps suggest something. But it doesn't always have to be the case, because it can be sometimes that the old agents are rusty and used to some wrong practices. So the new ones coming may actually come and say, "Hey, why are you doing this?" And this person might not be able to answer, just saying, "Tell you what, I've been always doing this. Never thought about this." So it always works two ways. No one's better in this supervision thing. It works with benefits for both sides, right?
Yes, as a team leader, you actually have to supervise the new agents to make sure they perform well. But when it comes to, for example, supervising mechanism and in live chat application, it allows all agents from a particular group to supervise chats from their colleagues. And also, the archives are available for all agents in the same group. That's because well, we went kind of our way to create a self-checking environment. If your team agents know that they can rely on the knowledge of older colleagues, or older colleagues know that their view maybe well, placed against a new knowledge or a new approach to some problem, it creates a good environment for all agents' work.
True. And also, I think there's one thing we recently introduced about. I think we talked about this before the webinar, Grzegorz, with this proud of Amphelia.
Right. Of
Webinar.
course, besides sharing knowledge among the team, as a team leader, your responsibility is also to, well, teach all agents how to perform. I mean, a team leader should be a person that performs very well and was designated to, well, lead the team, to show them the ways. Of course, it's better to say "follow me" rather than "onwards,"
Yeah,
right?
true. It's quite inspiring, right?
Yes, it is. And as a team leader, it's okay to have one-on-one meetings with your agents to review, well, some singular chats of theirs. Well, as a team leader, you can tell your team that hey, prepare a list of I'm proud of and I failed in chats. Let them know that you won't shout on them in case they screw something up, or let them know that it's fine to actually boast about well-run chats, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It can be also a lesson for other agents because, well, it's a saying, right? That the best lesson is from other people's
Mistakes, yeah, than yours own. Yeah, true. I think you also, it may not be so obvious. You need to find balance between judging and not judging your agents.
Yes, you cannot be judgmental if it's a, well, maybe a common newbie mistake, right? You have to, as I said, you have to lead the way. You have to be the person that shows the way to other agents rather than just looking down on them.
Yeah, true. So on one hand, you need to make them comfortable with the chats. On the other, you need to motivate them so they do better the next time. That's why we have like this whole KPIs, and I think this is a good moment to jump onto the next moment. So how to assess team performance, how to see how the team's doing, and what to do with that.
All right. In live chat application, we do have plenty of mechanisms that allow you to monitor your team's performance. For example, ratings. Each chat can be rated by a customer or visitor, and after the chat is finished, well, the rating just stays by the chat. There is a chat report for customer satisfaction. You can see thumbs ups and thumbs downs by each agent's photograph. Well, as much as it's fine to focus on these good rates, but well, for I think all of the companies, bad rates are well, more important.
Yeah, it stands that the bad ratings can actually do more damage than the promotion would go from good ratings. Just the way the world works. If you're about to buy a product and you just see one really bad rating and like 5 good ratings, you might actually be able to more prone take a look at this bad one.
Right. About reviewing these bad rates, when you go to that report, which is available in live chat under reports, chats, and chat satisfaction, if you click on bad rates, you will be taken to archives with these bad rated chats highlighted. You will be able to review them, to give your agents feedback based on these chats, and make their performance better next time.
Yeah, true. I mean, you can even actually empower your own agents so that they actually check on the ratings from time to time and they see them themselves. You don't have to be like checking on every their step. They can also do some self-checking because it is also developing for the agent. So when an agent checks it out and just they can see themselves that something was wrong, something was bad, or perhaps something really worked well. So you can also rely to an extent on agents doing it themselves too.
Yeah, it's best as a team leader to encourage your agents to actually understand what was wrong about the chat. And afterwards, you can always tell them, go on, send a follow-up as a ticket to a customer that left the chat unhappy.
Yeah, true, true.
Yes. Also, we have service, especially post-chat service. In this service, you can actually introduce questions like
Pretty much any sort of questions.
yeah,
there,
pretty
right?
much any sort of question. But you can have closed questions with A/B options, or you can have
Open-ended ones.
opened questions for with a text area to fill in and to submit. If you have closed questions, you can always ask if the agents performed well. If yes or no, you can always implement an open question to actually elaborate the feedback.
Yeah, true.
At live chat, we actually like to ask one closed question: was the case resolved on chat? As a team that provides chat customer service and an application for that, we want to actually close cases during the chat.
I think this is something we take pride in, just being able to solve most of the cases right there on the chat. Because if the people choose this medium of communication, they do expect it to be efficient as well. And if you just keep off bouncing every case up to the tickets, the customers may get frustrated with this eventually.
It's exactly the same thing as with queues that I mentioned before. If the customer has to wait for the case to be resolved in the future, he gets more frustrated each minute he has to wait.
Yeah, true. So the sooner the better, right?
Yeah. Also, when it comes to assessing team's performance, we do have a goal system. The goal system actually refers strictly to filling in some surveys to closing deals.
Yeah, basically conversions. So there are a couple of ways how we can go about this. This can be a landing page that the customer goes on. So for instance, checkout page is also a common choice for the customers. So if the customer chats, they do get to the checkout page afterwards. This chat is rated as it scores the goal. Okay, so it converted someone, right?
Yeah, recently we actually polished the goal section. We refurbished it. It looks pretty neat.
Yeah, true, and there's actually more coming because the tracking pixel should be soon. A little bit of spoiler here, soon be released to you guys. So stay tuned for this one. It is also a feature that can help you out with tracking it all automatically.
Yeah. When it comes to these KPIs that Marcin mentioned before, it's good to actually set up some service levels of yours.
Yeah.
For example, 98% of customer satisfaction after chat based on ratings. Maybe short first response time or a short response time at all, like 1 minute or something like that. At live chat, we keep it 1 minute to first response time, and actually we try to keep it as short as we can. Also, when it comes to tickets, well, you can be sure that if you send us an email, we will reply under 30 minutes.
Yeah, we try to keep with this one in particular, yeah. So basically, the KPIs is something you need to be important with. You don't have to be, not important, my bad, careful with. Because this is sort of a trap. You might want to get the KPIs of the goals for the agents to meet, but you don't want to discourage them either. The idea is that the KPIs is best to measure the things that your agents actually have impact on. They not necessarily have the impact whether, like direct one, of course, whether, say, more people being on your website start a chat with them because the greetings work automatically, say, for this one. But they do have impact on how fast they reply and the customer satisfaction. So when setting the KPIs, make sure to consider these ones that agents actually have impact on, so they don't feel powerless, so they actually feel empowered to meet them.
Yeah. Also, as a team leader, you have to remember it's not about getting the scores. It's not about actually grading your agents based on scores. It's good to have just a human approach for your agents. Yeah. It's good to review their chats on a weekly basis, for example. It's good to monitor them on a weekly basis just to make sure they perform well. they perform better if they have problems, and that well-performing agents are a good example for the others.
True. And I think one more tip we can just throw on top of this all, because depending on how your company is organized, you may be a team leader but not actually chat yourself. Say if this is the case and you are basically only in charge of monitoring other people's chats, do make this experiment and try to chat from time to time so you can actually meet the customers yourself, see how the front works, and then when you come back to assessing everybody else's how they work, you will remember how it felt to be right there on the front, and you will be able to make it more accurately, I think.
Yeah, it also refers to this saying that forward me is better than onwards. Right?
Definitely.
I'm a team leader. I do have many responsibilities that are out of chatting, but you can still meet me on chats at livechatInc.com. Feel welcome.
Yeah, anytime. All right, so next one. So how do we do it in live chat? We covered actually it through the whole webinar, step by step. So to come briefly through all the points, we have chat available 24/7. The shifts are overlapping with one another, so the people have a nice space for transition. Everybody in our cases works from the office, and our people, our agents, we are focused on chatting the most. Perhaps some extra activities on the way, but chatting is the main task we do. We share knowledge in knowledge sharing sessions. We supervise the chats. We see the archives. We talk about it not only during this office hours, also during this meeting. And yeah, I think we have also this human approach towards the KPIs and goals, and we just do not push the scores mindlessly.
Yeah, as a company, we follow this policy that if we are to expect the best performance, we also create the best environment to work.
Yeah, true. So it's no fair and square.
Yeah, it's mutual.
I guess so, yeah. So this is a moment for you guys to actually ask us any questions. Those can be specifics. Those can refer to any things we've covered. If you have some comments on things we went through, so you want to tell us how you approach some things, we are more than glad to listen, actually. So we'll give you this couple of minutes. If anything pops up, I'll be just reading out the questions and replying to you. So let's give you a moment for that. There's actually one question that came from John, and the question is John is working retail and online store. And question: how long the chat should be available? So as we went through, I think on the second or third slide in our presentation, there's no simple answer to that because it can be tricky. Most of the retail companies, so dealing with this, may be able to just do this 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shifts. If you can manage to keep the chat working for longer, perhaps if you're one person for the company who chats, you can try to use the mobile application afterwards. And even if there's just 3 or 4 chats that come in after the regular chatting hours, this may be caused by the fact that the customers, they don't know that they can chat after the hours. If you got a business where you keep the customers with you and they actually learn your company identity, stay with you, buy new products and new products, you might actually try to learn and educate your customers that you are there 24/7 for them. This is actually what we put great impact on at live chat, and we try to mention that whenever you guys need us, we are here 24/7.
Yeah, it's also very important to actually be aware and very responsive to the traffic on your website and the conversion to chats. Well, maybe what you think about these tickets, that they are just out of office questions. They may be actually an opportunity to open a second shift, to open your company to questions later in the day, and maybe to scale up your business.
And there's next question from Mike. What do you think about of soliciting chats from members that are on the website? We have thought of doing this while we are slow. Tell you what, if I'm getting you correctly, you're asking how proactive you should be towards the customers, right? So you have two ways of going about this. First one is automatic greetings. From the customer's point of view, they don't see the difference because it's always agents saying hi to them or whatever you said. If your team is buried under with many responsibilities, and they will not always have the time to monitor the visitors section, so they can just manually invite the customers, you can set automatic greetings that will actually invite the people based on the conditions. Uh, People like being reached out to, just not exactly at the start of entering the website. When they enter the website, they're there for 5 seconds and there's already agents saying, "Oh, hi, how are you doing?" It's maybe a little bit creepy. You don't want to scare your customers out. Give them like 20 seconds, half a minute, perhaps a number of pages they should go through. If you're having trouble in setting this, you can check on the greetings tutorial on our knowledge base. If it's still unclear, make sure to start the chat with our support team, and we'll be able to share a couple of tips about that.
Yeah, about that, if you are still experiencing a high traffic, maybe it's a good moment to hire a new agent. Maybe it's an opportunity to review if your agents are aware of canned response. Maybe it's a moment to review if canned responses are prepared properly.
Mm-hmm.
Just check upon new cases each week, just to make sure that every case has at least a link to your knowledge base or to any particular product that your customers are asking about. In canned response, it fastens the answer from agent's end, and it allows your agents to handle more cases.
Yeah, true. And also, Mike, if you would go about setting this up and actually took a week or two to see the results, if you'd have a moment, you can reach out to me on the email on the left-hand side, so m.borowski@live.nc.com. I should be able to perhaps see and take a look at how you set the greetings, perhaps just something from my side. So please do let us know how this went for you, all right? I hope this answers your questions, and this will be a little bit of help. Thanks, Mike. Seems that's it for now. So it's been our pleasure to have you here on the webinar. I hope that you did learn something useful for your company in using the chat. Now, I would really appreciate if you took a moment after the webinar to fill out the post-webinar survey. If there are any suggestions you'd like us to take into consideration. Also, if you have some more complex questions on how to use LiveChat with your company, do start the chat with us on our website or write us an email, and we should be able to help you out because your success is our success.
Right. And also feel mostly welcome at livechat.inc.com on a chat with us 24/7, 365 days each year.
Yeah, we do take pride in that. And also thank you, Grzegorz, for joining me here today.
Thanks for inviting me.
And stay tuned for more webinars with LiveChat. Thank you all.